Hey collective, happy Sunday to everybody on this July 27th. Now of course this is a timeless reading, so this is any time that you just happen upon it, whether it's tomorrow, next week, next year, doesn't matter. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pull for the entire week as I typically do on every Sunday. I'm still experimenting with things, so I'm incorporating the tarot in this as well. So today what I'm going to pull is I'm going to pull the overall energy for the week. Then I'm going to go ahead and pull past, present, and future as well for the week. Okay, and then with that we'll do our typical runic river spread with the runes. Okay, I'm not going to pull any oracles today. I pull them every individual day, Monday through Saturday. Alright, so with that being said, I've already done my prayers, my invocations. So go ahead and shuffle and cut the tarot, and we'll go ahead and get our overall energy to start with. And to get the overall energy for this coming week, please, and thank you. Overall energy for this coming week, and thank you. Is the overall energy for this coming week for my collective. Please give me a concise, easily understood sense of direction for those who need to hear this today, please. Thank you. Alright, so overall energy, well, it's not too good. Alright, so we have the Five of Pentacles. Basically, it's like feeling like you're out in the cold. Now, this is for whoever needs to hear it the most. So this may or may not apply to you, and don't try to force it to, okay? If it doesn't resonate with you, just go ahead and wait for that part of the reading that does resonate with you. Alright, so Five of Pentacles, like I said, is like feeling out in the cold. It means possible financial and spiritual hardship. It means sense of poverty, financial difficulties. That's really what it hits home with. Hard times, trouble, cold weather even. So unless you're in the Eastern Hemisphere somewhere, I don't think that really affects you, or Northern or Southern, actually. Depends where you're from. Alright, so that's the overall. Not looking so good to start things off with. Alright, at the bottom we have, at the bottom we have the Three of Cups, and that's a cup, that's one of celebration. So, okay, that means we're moving in the right direction. That's good. Okay, so overall energy. Go ahead and get our past energy next, please. What is the energy from the past that we need to see, please? Past energy. Past energy. One more. Okay. Past energy. Alright. Past energy is the death. Now again, this could actually speak of the death of an individual or an animal, for example. But in my experience, more often than not, it talks about a death of a cycle. In other words, the ending of a cycle, hopefully successfully completed cycle. Okay? So it talks about the end of the old and the start of the new. Rebirth, finality, transformations, endings, and new beginnings. Again, the end of a cycle, the start of a new one. Death and rebirth. Okay? That's good. That's what we want. At the bottom, we have the Four of Swords. Four of Swords is, again, feeling emotionally overwhelmed, stressed out a little bit, feeling of anxiety, maybe drained. Okay? Alright. Well, of course, if you're going through this test, and again, we're always tested before we move on to the next cycle. So keep that in mind. Now, this could be past, present, or future. Depends on where you are in the timeline, okay? So I want everybody to remember these things. Anything dealing with divination, you know, we're talking about time. Time is not linear at all, okay? It's just the now. and there are many nows happening simultaneously. Right? I know it's confusing. It's difficult to explain. We're talking about multidimensionality. There's endless amounts of, if you will, realities happening simultaneously. In terms of what I'm trying to discuss, the only way I can explain it is to look at a hologram. In a hologram, the very smallest part of that hologram, if you look at the pixels, for example, of a picture, the smallest pixel has the entire information for the entire larger picture, if you will. As above, so below, as within, so without, and so on and so forth. And we see that also in terms of realities. There's a lot of different realities happening simultaneously. Okay? Alright, so let's go ahead and look at now for our present information. What is the present? Present information, please, for my collective. So just keep in mind, if this is not your reality right now, it may be your reality in the future. This may have been something that's already transpired in your life. However, like I said, not everything I talk about is going to be reflective to everybody out there. Not every single thing that I say. So just take the things that resonate with you specifically. Okay? That's the way divination works. Now, there'll be somebody out there that probably almost everything that I say is going to be your particular scenario, your case. Some people, this is a future scenario. Okay, one more, please. One more. All right, so our present is the King of Cups. Now, this talks about basically rationality, balanced emotions, feeling calm, sense of being faithful and friendly, mature, a wise personality, and feeling, caring and so on. This is somebody that basically is very empathetic, very empathic, okay? So that's a good energy to have. We should all be that way if we're practicing a spiritual journey. At the bottom, we have the Five of Swords. Okay, Five of Swords talks about conflicts and feeling defeated, arguments, surrendering, stress, tension, violence. So this could be two different people that we're talking about here. Okay, one of you could actually be in this particular energy. The other, of course, is the one who's got the empathetic personality and so on that we're referring to. So, there's a million different ways we can look at each of these. Alright, but what I'm feeling because of what I'm going through, and these readings actually pertain to me as well, okay? So, I usually do readings for myself before I pull for you guys. Not always. Alright, so can I get another reading, another card for the future? Where's the future for the collective, please? Future energy for the collective. Thank you. One more. Future energy for the collective. Thank you. Future energy. Alright, well, I don't know. Okay, so Five of Wands, this is fire. This talks about conflict, competition, friction, chaos, rivalry, and disagreements. So as I was saying earlier with the King of Cups, okay, and the Five of Swords, we have two parties at least involved in this. It could be two groups, or it could be two individuals, or an individual against a group, for example, or maybe a group against an individual. It's really hard to say in terms of numbers and all that because it doesn't make that clear. But it talks about two different if you will, outlooks on a situation. Somebody's going to be going through it. Another person is going to be very stoic and very loving in this situation. The other, not so much. So this could be in reference to the two parties that we're, been talking about now for 3 weeks, going into the fourth now, where we have two people at least that are coming into our lives. One from the past, and somebody new. One of them is basically a snake in the grass or a wolf in sheep's clothing. The other one is very much who they purport to be. Now we have to use wisdom. We have to use our discernment to to decide who that is, and that may be who this is talking about. And we may have to actually make the right decision in this in order for us to move on to the next cycle, if you will, and that's why we got the death card. Okay? Alright, so there's the information that we have for the tarot. Not what I was hoping for specifically, but we have to go with whatever the energy is, not what we want. Now, I've already called upon Odin 9 times, so we're going to go ahead and pull the energy. First energy I'm going to pull is the overall energy, and see how it reflects the overall energy of the tarot we just pulled. I'm doing an experiment. I'm experimenting with this. Okay? What is the overall energy, please, for the collective, please? Thank you. Overall energy. Well, that's a very good one. It's the same one we had last week, actually. It's Eihwaz. Eihwaz is an excellent rune. Okay? Eihwaz basically talks about protection and so on, like many other things. It talks about basically just like the death card. So it is echoing exactly what, you know, well, the overall is basically the Five of Pentacles. But the overall energy here speaks about death and rebirth. Death of a cycle, rebirth of a cycle. And that's what our past energy is, basically. It talks about going on a quest, needing strength, being dependable, things of that nature. Okay? So it's a very good rune to start things off with for the overall. Okay? And again, we're going to have two different parties that are being shown here, apparently. Two parties on different sides of the energetic spectrum. Alright, can I get an overall energy, please, for today? What is the overall energy for today? Sunday. Overall energy for today. Sunday, please. Thank you. Alright. Hearthrow. Okay? Hearthrow. Now, Hearthrow in the upright, as this is, talks about games of chance, gaming, lot cups, games, gaming, things of that nature. It also talks about fate in general, or the unknown. And it talks about feminine aspects such as intuition and destiny, you know, chance. Now, we do have the opportunity by our decision-making processes to change our fate. When our fate seems to be sealed, we can always petition the norms, at least in the Nordic belief system. And just like you can go to the Most High, you can go to God and say, Lord, you know, I submit. I want to change my life. I give you my life. Help me to walk in your light, and he will open the doors for you. Okay? Same thing with the norms. Okay? Alright, so again, that's also very positive, you guys. Alright, so I gotta give me an energy for Monday, please. Overall energy for Monday for this week, please. Where's the overall energy for Monday, please? Thank you. Oh, that's not too good. Okay, this is Eihwaz, but it's in the reverse. Okay? Now, Eihwaz in the reverse basically talks about things such as having to wait, being misled or used by others, feeling a sense of vulnerability, maybe even the loss of the divine link, doing things that are considered taboo. If you also have people that are doing, let's just say, dark things against you, black magic, voodoo, or, and let me clarify something too, in terms of magic, you don't necessarily have to go through all the Hollywood style rituals in order to do that. If you're looking at somebody's picture and all you feel for that person as you look at them or as you're thinking about them is absolute hatred and a desire to see their downfall in every way imaginable, you are doing the equivalent of doing black magic in a sense. You are sending a lot of negative energy into the ethers, if you will, for the destruction of another human being. So that could also be the case. So when I say doing something witchy or maybe even black magic, it could be one or the other. It's just a focused ill intent, really, towards another. So that's basically what we're talking about there. And again, in my life, I already know that it's happening and on a very large scale. Okay? There's several people, including those who are using a front company, possibly a church, to do or to cover up, one, their monies, but also to masquerade as angels of light in the daytime, and at nighttime they have their black masses, they have their orgies and all that kind of stuff. Their sex magic. But it's all backfiring, and they're paying the price for a lot of what they're doing right now. In my particular case, I hope you're not going through the same. But if you are, like I said, anybody who wants or needs to talk, feel free to do so. Hit me up. I'm here for the collective. That's part of my duty, part of my responsibility. We're looking at Tuesday energy now. What is the Tuesday energy for the collective, please? And thank you. Tuesday energy. Thank you. Tuesday energy. Eihwaz. Now, Eihwaz stands for the torch, the flame, the burning. But typically what that means symbolically is like the light bulb going off over your head. You have a sense of clarity or vision, creativity. It also talks about sexual matters, as most of these actually do. But it talks about knowing and a sense of positivity and vision, okay? So that's, again, a very good rune to have. It says that you're basically, if you don't know something with a certainty, or say maybe something hasn't manifested physically, but your intuition is warning you that there's something going on, this in a sense is giving you that clarity. It's telling you that indeed what you're thinking is probably right on the money. Okay? Alright, so Wednesday, please. What is the energy for Wednesday now, please? And thank you. Wednesday energy, thank you. Wednesday energy. Eihwaz. Now, Eihwaz, not to be confused with Eihwaz, and although it looks like an M, it's actually the letter E in their alphabet. Okay? And what it stands for, and it's in the upright, which is good. It's not too bad in the reverse, but it's good that it's in the upright. It talks about partnerships. It talks about trust and loyalty. It talks about working in unison, one with another. Two people, or one person and a group, or two horses pulling a carriage. Everything has to work together in unison, being on the same page, kind of a thing. That's really what it stands for. Or motion. And in order to move forward, you have to work together. A sense of unity. Okay? Unity. So it also stands for things like loyalty and cooperation, as well as motion. Alright, so what's Thursday energy, please? Thursday energy, please. Thursday energy. Thank you. Thursday energy. So far, we've only got one negative for the week. Alright. Well, this time we got Eihwaz, in the reverse with the rose quartz rune. Okay, so what does it mean in the reverse? Well, it means long journeys. Mine certainly has been. Alright, it talks about changes coming. And don't fight the changes. Go with the flow, with whatever the universe is basically, putting in front of you. Okay? And I know that's hard to do because we always have decisions to make, and we don't want to be in a hardship any longer than we have to be. That's not what I'm saying. You should always make some type of effort. Right, that's true. But what I'm saying is do not resist change. If you're being forced out of your comfort zone, that's usually meaning that it's time for a change in your life. Don't fight it. Go with it. Okay? All right. So it also means timing, maybe not feeling as though it's a good time for these things to happen in your life. They typically happen that way, unfortunately. And believe me, I've had more than my share of complaints about that. It's like I'm being expected to start something, and the moment I do it, all hell breaks loose for me. So that's the way it works. It's to test your conviction and everything else at the same time. So don't give up. Remember now, the universe favors the bold, those who are brave. So feeling confined, feeling restricted, and a sense of mistrust is also part of what Eihwaz means, or Eihwaz stands, Eihwaz stands for in the reverse. Okay? Alright. So what is Friday's energy, please? What is Friday's energy? Friday's energy, please, and thank you. Friday's energy. Alright. Okay, so what we have is Eihwaz. Now, Eihwaz is the very first rune in the second Ayat. Sometimes it's associated with the warrior god Heimdall, who is actually the overseer of the second group or family. And it means basically disruptions, changes, delays, limits, upheavals, things of that nature. But again, it also tells us in a sense that things can always be worse. You know, you got your crops, there's a hailstorm, and the hailstorm destroys part of your crops. That's certainly not good, especially back in the day when your whole village is dependent upon that crop. But, you know, there are still salvageable crops to be had. It could have been worse. So it gives us kind of like that, always see the light in the midst of hardship kind of a thing. That's what it means. So that's Eihwaz. Okay? Now, let's pull Saturday rune. So this week is not one of overall good energy, but it's not overall bad energy too. We're going to have some, it's going to be one of those weeks where it doesn't sound like a whole lot of stupendous and grandiose types of things are going to happen for us. So we may have some issues to deal with. But it also tells us we have all the necessary energy to accomplish whatever that might be. Alright, so this is Saturday's rune. Saturday rune. Well, we got Eihwaz a second time. And that's just confirming what I just said. Okay? It may seem kind of monotonous, mundane, or maybe even a little bit exhausting, you know, where things just don't seem to be going, you know, in a way that we would want as far as forward momentum goes. Okay? So, all I can say is this is your chance. Remember, you always go through a test before the end of a cycle. We have that here in the death card. We also have that here in the overall energy of the week, which is Eihwaz, which is death and rebirth. So this may be the week for some of us where the final test is before us. And of course, it's almost never a pleasant experience. But it can be done easily, or more easily, knowing full well once you get past this, that it's smooth sailing. You'll be able to move forward. You get the A, you get your rewards for successfully completing this, and you get to move into a higher, if you will, timeline. That's what we're all here to do. Once you become aware of that, you start to accept that, life has more meaning. It makes more sense. So I hope this encourages you. We see this echoed in the tarot and with the runes in terms of this week may be one of challenges. Okay? And again, if you ever need to speak or talk or just vent, whatever the case may be, I will always try to respond back to you. Okay? And I wish you all the very, very best. And, you know, take comfort in knowing that it's almost over. So stay victorious. And I will say you, hopefully not too soon, in Valhalla. Take care.